Vaginal estrogen, is it safe for everyone? Risk of stroke? Risk of blood clots in my legs, in my lungs? Risk of cancers? Why would I take this? Welcome back. There's a great argument to be made that almost every woman at some time in their life maybe should go on vaginal estrogen. Is it right for you? What are the risks? What are the benefits? We're talking about that in this video. Again, my name is Eric Schmidt, board certified OBGYN, minimally invasive gynecologic surgeon. Let's get right into it with what are the main benefits of vaginal estrogen. We're going to break them down right here. Let's talk about the anatomy, the physiology behind it, because this area, the vulva, the vagina, the surrounding tissues, has so many receptors for estrogen in that area. These receptors are what help this area to develop normally in a woman. And when the body goes through menopause, when the ovaries are producing less estrogen, the decrease in that estrogen can have significant impact because the receptors just aren't getting stimulated by that estrogen anymore. When we're talking about vaginal estrogen, it's very important to note that this is a local therapy. It's not systemic. It's not like the patch. There is one vaginal issue, one ring called the fem ring, which it's high enough dose to actually get in, but we're simply talking about the local therapies that don't increase someone's systemic estrogen in this video. All right, so now getting into all the benefits and all the risks. Okay, so again, we talked about how that area is very sensitive to estrogen. When it decreases, the body loses elasticity, it loses blood flow, it loses the moisture and the sexual benefit for lubrication in that area. So there's the vaginal benefit, and we'll even say vulvar. Again, these tissues, the labia minora, majora, these are very high areas of estrogen receptors. They love estrogen, and when that is gone, it can have significant impacts. It's even noted in women who are years past menopause that the labia minora can actually start to reduce in size and almost go away completely. And these are protective for a number of reasons. It helps protect the urethra. It helps protect the area from pathogens. And so potentially the loss of estrogen can potentially cause a loss of a body part and can even lead to this next issue, which would be sexual health. It can even cause issues with sexual health. The pain, the discomfort that can come when somebody is going through perimenopause or someone is postmenopause, especially 10 years after menopause, we start to see a lot of these issues because there's been so many years of decreased estrogen that someone starts to have pain and irritation with intercourse. And so they have potential decreased libido because it just is painful even before during and after intercourse, and significant irritation afterwards too. And so estrogen really helps with these sexual health benefits. We briefly touched on it before, but UTI or urinary tract infection is higher in postmenopausal women because of this lack of estrogen. And so if someone's getting recurrent UTIs, instead of putting somebody on antibiotics all the time or antibiotics after intercourse, or maybe that person actually just needs some estrogen in that area, again, from the first point we talked about, increase the blood flow, increase the lubrication, the elasticity of the tissues, less microtrauma, all of that helps to benefit the decreased urinary tract infection. Also, when we talked about how the labia minora can start to dissolve or decrease in size or adhere to the surrounding tissues, well, the estrogen in that area helps prevent that from happening and helps the labia minora protect the vagina, the urethra from these infections. All of this can potentially reduce somebody's risk of urinary tract infection or recurrent UTIs by maybe even 50%. That's big. Also, another point is the vaginal area is an acidic environment. That also helps protect against these bacteria because they can't grow as well in the acidic environment. And so that's normal. That's good. Well, loss of estrogen leads to a more base-heavy or basic environment. And so the supplement of the vaginal estrogen to this area helps keep the area acidic. So it again further decreases somebody's risk of infection. And leading to another point, we'll include this in the same area, but recurrent yeast infections can happen. And again, same reasoning, the vagina, the vulva, all of that area, the labia has lost its protective benefits with the decrease in estrogen. And UTIs, while in younger populations seem rather benign, some irritation, some burning, it can become more severe, especially in women in their 60s, 70s, when that infection can travel up higher, make somebody really sick, including something called urosepsis, where somebody has sepsis from a urinary tract source, and it can be deadly and is one of the leading causes of hospital admission and antibiotics in these populations. And so again, maybe everybody, even if they aren't worried about the sexual or dyspareunia or pain with sex benefits, I mean, this is a huge benefit. And so is it for everyone? We'll keep talking about it. If you don't mind, as always, a little like button there goes a long way. A little subscribe button there also goes a long way, helps fuel us to give us energy to hopefully continue to put out helpful videos for you and your health. Pelvic floor health. Pelvic floor, again, in that area is very responsive to estrogen. It likes it. It operates and it heals and recovers much better when it has that estrogen there. And so I see this a lot. A lot of people may have pelvic floor pain or discomfort, and it could have been potentially prevented if the area had the estrogen there, the backbone of making that area healthy to have more protections against simple injury. Because pelvic floor dysfunction or pelvic floor pain is one of the leading causes of pain with intercourse that I see in my clinic. There are even more benefits than what I listed here, but let's go ahead and go over to the risk side first. On that package I read at the beginning, I said the potential risks of blood clots. I said the potential risk of strokes. I said the potential risk of certain cancers like endometrial or breast cancer. I said, I don't even know. I forget what's on the package, but it's all not true. It's just the FDA labeled it because of that study, WHI study, 2002-ish, 2003, when that came out, scared everybody away from these hormones when it just wasn't a well-done study and they didn't interpret it well on top of that. And so they associated all these risks with it, but it's now been proven there's none of those risks with local vaginal estrogen. We can use this safely in people that have had blood clots. We can use it safely in people that have had strokes. There's even more and more data coming out that this can be safely used in people with a history of breast cancer. But that's going to have to be a collaborative decision with your gynecologist, your breast surgeon, your oncologist, to figure out the best plan for you. Because again, we talked about all these benefits, and if you feel like you're significantly impacted by it and you have a history of breast cancer, it's definitely worth a discussion with your doctors and have a shared decision making. Because there's even some evidence out there saying that people that have had a history of breast cancer, and let's say they used vaginal estrogen, they actually had a decreased risk of mortality because of a lot of those benefits that we talked about previously, not to mention the quality of life potential improvement. So let's talk more about the risks. Well, I don't really have many. It could be messy. I've had patients that the vaginal ring, which we'll talk about here in a second, is a little too big. It can cause some little micro traumas inserting it if somebody's already been pretty far past their menopause, leading to a lot of stenosis, a lot of micro tearing with placing the initial. If you start with the vaginal ring, and so the ring can be painful maybe. Let's talk about the different ways that we can use vaginal estrogen. Probably the most common way, and the ways that you're probably thinking of, is the cream. Now, this can be used in a number of different ways. Why we like it? It's simple, it's easy, it's generic now, so it's cheaper, and it's a great way to tailor your dose on your own to get the least amount of medication and the most amount of benefit. So the vaginal cream has an applicator to it. Often, I don't recommend necessarily using it unless it makes it significantly easier for each individual patient. But often what I would recommend is placing a pea to blueberry sized amount on the finger, and then you're going to rub that in the vaginal opening, maybe 1, maybe 2 knuckles deep, trying to rub that into the tissues, helping its absorption, and it actually makes it less messy to do it this way. The alternative way would be to use the applicator, which helps you insert it a little higher into the vagina and just pushes it in, but it doesn't rub the medication in. So there's less consistent absorption. It may be a little bit messier that way, as gravity can potentially take it out. But those are the two ways to do it. And also what you can do with the cream, which makes it nice, is that you can also spread it along the external area too. Now, the main part is to get it, again, 1 or 2 knuckles deep within the vagina, but you can also spread it along the clitoral region, labia minora area also, to help stimulation of those estrogen receptors a little bit more with direct application there. The prescription for the vaginal cream, usually we started out nightly, and this is often for 2 weeks, applying it to get a quicker response. And so you apply it nightly, and then after the 2 weeks, we generally titrate it down to 3 times a week, maybe even 2 times a week. And it depends on each individual patient, but it's not an exact science medication. It's not like a blood pressure medication where you need to take it at a certain time for it to be effective. You have a little bit of leeway. So often 2 to 3 times a week. And once somebody's seen those benefits, it does take about 8 weeks to see the full benefits. You can titrate it up or down to exactly kind of find the right dosage for you. There's also the vaginal suppository or insert tablets, which are a little bit easier because you don't have to rub them in. You don't have to worry about, are you getting the right amount? It's already pre-set. And there are some good options there. Again, they have applicators that help you with this, but it's pretty easy to hopefully push that up on your own, even without the applicator. But often, again, these are very similar. You would place it nightly for 2 weeks and then space it out. So very similar in these ways. Again, that would be like the Imvexy, and there's a couple other brand names. There's the S-ring. Again, there's 2 vaginal rings that have estrogen. There's the Fem ring that is for systemic. That's a higher dose one. And so that would be an alternative to like the estrogen patch. I point to my arm for some reason, but generally put it down below the waistline. The Fem ring is a ring that is used for systemic estrogen. And so we're not talking about that one. We're talking about the S-ring. The S-ring is a very good way if somebody does not want to have to worry about doing this cream or suppository or tablet every night or every other night. This is a great way to place it for 90 days. So every 3 months you're replacing it. It just sits there at upper vagina. Might even help with the apical or upper support, like a little pessary would. But yeah, the E-string is a great option. I've had a lot of patients really like it if they don't want to have to do the cream, whether it's a dexterity issue or they feel it's messy, or they just don't want to have to worry about doing it because they're busy with other things. And so that's a great option. And your provider can even do this for you. You go in, have your ring in hand after it's prescribed, and they can help you place it if you have issues with that too. I've done that for a number of patients. And again, hopefully in about 8 weeks, you are noticing an improvement in the pain, the burning, little micro paper cuts feeling, itchiness, recurrent UTIs, recurrent yeast infections, pain with sex. Hopefully all of that is starting to improve at about 8 weeks. And hopefully your senior provider too, so they can recheck on you, see if you're doing well, potentially alter the plan if they need to. A common question I get is, well, I'm already on the patch. Do I need to do this vaginal estrogen too? Well, I guess the question is, one, are you having symptoms? Burning, itching, pain of perimenopause, postmenopause, or do you want to be preventive for that too? And so often the systemic, those patches, the other systemic therapies, they don't reach the pelvic region in high enough concentrations to have that big benefit. And so there is benefit to doing them both, and it's not too much. It's, again, the local therapy with the local estrogen, vaginal estrogen, shouldn't increase your total estrogen levels, shouldn't increase any risks. So often we're talking about doing both. Another question is too, well, I'm not sexually active. I don't need to worry about that. Again, we talked about these list of benefits. Only a couple of them are necessarily related to pain with sex, irritation. And so often people get irritation without sex. Often people get pain in that region. Often people get UTIs, yeast infections. So there is benefit to doing this, even if somebody isn't sexually active. I do get patients saying they were always nervous about bringing this up with their doctor. They just thought it was something that it just came with life. But no, this is a simple treatment, and your doctor should be open to discussing it, doing the examination, and then treating you or sending you to somebody that would. And as always, you can get a second opinion about this. But it's a very low risk way to potentially have a significant impact in someone's daily life, their relationships, everything going forward. So yeah, in my opinion, almost all women potentially should be on local vaginal estrogen at some point in their life. A lot of it's based around symptoms. Some people, most people develop these main symptoms, give or take 10 years after menopause, but sometimes, that's treating it after the issue has already occurred. The genitourinary syndrome of menopause is already set in. And so being preventative is often the best way to achieve good medical results in a lot of ways. And so, yeah, being preventative should be an option for everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it cleared up some of the issues surrounding local vaginal estrogen. If you have any questions or want to learn more about the systemic ways, we have other videos on that. So check those out. Everybody, have a great day. This is actually just a tube of face cleanser.